Hello and welcome to our very first episode of Knowledge Capsules. This is the platform where we take big concepts that might intimidate you, that you might hear about all over on social media, and we break it down so that we all understand exactly what these concepts mean and how they impact our lives. And today's episode is particularly interesting for me because it's all about these big buzzwords we've been hearing on the internet: AI and machine learning. And today I've got with me Solomon Smit. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure, and we can't wait to learn from you.
Oh, good. Thank you.
I think I first want to give you the opportunity to maybe just introduce yourselves, tell us a little bit about who you are and the work that you do, and then we'll dive into the business of the day.
Thank you so much. I'm Solomon. I'm an electronic engineer, research and development. Most recently, I do AI applications, but I'm a serial inventor as well. I've invented over 15 products,
Wow.
9 of which is registered with a DTI. They bring in excess of 600 million rand, but it's not mine. It's for companies. So quite an entrepreneur as well. And most recently, I'm the founder of Alpha Tower as well, an educational product that we actually invented for children far away from internet to make e-learning available to them. And we actually put AI on there as well to help with the learning, with the education, both the student and the teacher as well. So it's a quite a good opportunity to explain about what AI means and what it can do. Thank you so much, Lulu.
I love that. So you're out there working to make the online space accessible to everybody.
Yes, excellent.
And I love the fact that it's for children.
Yes.
Oh, man, I love it.
And then the reason I think that's so close to my heart, I grew up, I just told you, we didn't have TV.
Yes.
What's more is I grew up in a rural area called Waterval, 10 kilometers away from the nearest shop. And this was 1991. My teacher said to me, he said, Solomon, you must learn to look over these mountains. And it was a rural town completely surrounded by mountains. And obviously you don't understand as a kid until he gave me books to read. And I discovered this world. And there's still today, I realize there's children today that we need to help. Basically help them find this new world as well.
Absolutely. Leave no child behind.
Yes, thank you so much.
Okay, with that said, I think maybe let's get into maybe a bit of an understanding. Maybe you can give us a lesson into
good.
What is this thing that we're all just seeing
we
everywhere?
We say AI.
We say machine learning, and it's either scary or exciting or sometimes attached to big figures like you can make this much with AI.
Oh, yes.
So what is it?
Brilliant question. So the first thing I've realized, first misconception, is that people think it's quite new. Maybe it started over COVID and we just didn't have nothing to do. So we started inventing AI. Quite the opposite. In 1950 already, I watched this movie called The Imitation Game, played by Benedict. And he portrayed the life of Alan Turing. And Alan Turing, what happened was during the World War II, they found this machine that the Nazis used to communicate. Brilliant machine, by all accounts. And it was an encryption machine and a decryption. So you can send an encrypted message, and it receives an encrypted message and can decrypt it. And no two machines were the same. So the English found this machine, and then they couldn't break the code. And they hired him. He was a mathematician. And he figured it out. Took him a while. And wow, amazing. What's that movie? And it's called The Imitation Game.
Yeah.
But he wrote then in 1950, he actually wrote, and I'll actually show you the first. He wrote a paper. It says Computing Machinery in Intelligence. This is 1950. And The Imitation Game, I'll read the first sentence to you.
Okay.
It says, I propose to consider the question, can machines think? Wow. So and 7 years after that, 3 guys started a proposal for the Dartmouth Summer Research Project on artificial intelligence. And that's the first time that word was coined. 1957.
1957.
Yes, that is how far. What's more is this 3 years later, 1960, IBM actually made a model that could help with medicine.
Oh, wow.
Could help you, and even in chemistry as well. So there was already a model in 1960 already.
Jeez.
Can you believe it? And I remember, so I realized when I look back into my memory, how big of a geek I was, because 17 years old. This is a true story. I'm not making this up. So we were playing chess. We were buddies. We played chess.
Yes.
You know, we're not. And Philip came to me, one of my good friends who we played chess with, and he says, "Solomon, you won't believe what just happened." And it's like the world stood still for us.
Yeah.
He says, a machine called Deep Blue at that time from IBM just beaten our champion Garry Kasparov. And our world shattered.
Oh my
because
God.
it literally means we could be beaten by a machine. The best of the best. Can you believe it? So I think that was the first fear.
Yeah.
And I can think how people feel now when it becomes, because it's quite personal, especially if it's writing and they think, oh, ChatGPT is going to take your job.
Yes.
And you no longer have to create work.
That's me.
And that's probably the next thing we need to talk about. It's not that.
Yeah.
We learn from that. And still, we still play chess. We still have championships. We still have tournaments. And we still enjoy it. I still enjoy it. It's not like doom and gloom and the machines came in to take over and now we can't play chess anymore. As a matter of fact, I think there was even a rapid increase. Because now we could purchase these programs and we could become better at chess.
Yes.
I remember my first chess program, computer program, and I could play now against the computer.
Yes.
And I could figure out, oh, that was my mistake, and learn from that. I think if people can, and that is what we always, I'm optimistic, I'm an optimist. I believe that's what it's supposed to be. So we can already see it came along.
Yes.
And I think what makes it, what really took off, I must admit, maybe the past few, is when ChatGPT came along. When anybody could talk to. But so you get this big field of AI. So let me just say that. And then you have a subfield, computer vision for self-driving cars, machine learning to maybe predict the weather. And I'll give an analogy of machine learning, but it's a sub-component.
Yeah.
So people say machine learning, but it's just, if you think of an umbrella, that one spoke, that is machine learning. And then you get another spoke that is maybe vision, computer vision, and so forth.
Yeah.
So I'll make an example for computer vision.
Okay.
Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
So here's a nice one for you. So imagine a girl. It's a hypothetical girl, Lulu. It's not real.
All right. I got it. Hypothetical girl. Not anyone we know.
And she dated 3 guys.
Ooh.
Oh, and it ended horrible. They all 3 of them broke her heart. Oh, no. Ghosted her. Is that the new term?
Oh, yes.
They ghosted her. And now she's saying, based on 3 relationships that she had that ended horribly, she says, all men are bad.
Sure.
No. So what we're having there is machine learning right there. She had 3 data points, the 3 men or the 3 dates she had on, and there was an outcome. It was bad.
Yeah.
But we can already see that's a bias. You can already actually feel it in your gut. Because she hasn't dated all men.
Exactly.
Or even a big significant amount of men. To say that. Also, if there's only one parameter, we say an attribute, it's a gender.
Yeah.
She didn't say the guys who go to gym. Oh, I see a new TikTok trend. There's a perfume. I really love this perfume. Now I'm scared to buy this perfume. They say all men who wear this perfumes, they are cheaters and liars.
Oh
and I'm like, oh, I can't buy this perfume. And it smells so good. So another parameter.
Yeah.
Now imagine all three of them wore the perfume. They say, "Oh, they're
Yes.
liars and cheaters."
Yeah.
But maybe two of them went to gym.
Mm.
One don't go to gym. There's another parameter. Now in machine learning, we call that every time you add a parameter or an attribute in our case, we say you add a dimension.
Okay.
So if there's 10 attributes of these guys, two of them go to church, one don't go to church, they go to gym, they don't smoke, one smokes, and so forth. If there's 10 of them, we say it's a 10-dimensional vector.
Okay.
So a vector is just containing all of these parameters. Basically, that's it. So normally we hear about vectors. Ooh. And that's another thing we need to address. Very important. It is actually a mathematical problem. It is not black magic. It's not voodoo.
It's not evil.
It's not evil. I think it's going into this black box and it comes out and how can this thing talk to me? It's actually very, very interesting. It's maths. So I think that is, for me, it's exciting. And we can already see if there's 10 attributes across these three men.
Yes.
She could go like, it's because they all went to gym or they all wear this perfume. So now she's grouping these parameters together.
Yes.
And that's kind of like what machine learning is doing. But we're saying because there's so little information or very little parameters to draw a conclusion, we say she's biased. And we use it in human language as well, or it is skewed.
Yes.
Now, we can't possibly ask this girl to go date 1,000 men, obviously. No. So what we rather do is we get more samples from maybe 1,000 women.
Yes.
I think the Cosmopolitan magazines, you like to do that.
Oh, yes, they were known for those.
They do the survey and they say,
I forgot about
yeah,
that. I used to love buying.
You wouldn't believe men with green eyes.
If your boyfriend wears blue t-shirts
Oh,
on Wednesday, be careful.
So we've been doing this instinctively. We get a great a sample space, we call it, and then we try to get more information about it. And that's machine learning.
Okay.
You want to give it more, and that is how ChatGPT becomes so better and better, because it just keeps on learning. Hence the term, it's getting learned.
Yes.
And fine-tune could be saying, but wait a minute, we can leave out the parameter or the attribute on which day these guys were born. I mean, does it really matter if I was born on a Friday and you on a Saturday? I mean, that's just crazy. Leave that out.
Okay.
And that is, now, you wouldn't believe that's a real person today that does that kind of job. That job didn't exist. It comes to my next, people think, oh, it's going to take my job.
It's going to take jobs, yeah.
No, it's actually creating jobs. You need people to look at all of this information that, let's just say, go into ChatGPT, and they say, no, this doesn't matter. I mean, if you have to recognize a cat, does the color really matter? No. It is the shape, the form.
Yes.
That is important. So you say, no, color doesn't matter. I have never seen a purple cat.
You could dye your cat purple.
So we have to fine-tune the model. We have to do pre-processing as well. So that in a nutshell, I hope that helped, where I took a real-world example of machine learning to show what actually a soft piece of software actually does.
So I guess in a way, if I'm understanding it correctly, so the more we use these things,
yes,
the better it's becoming, right? Because we're feeding it so much.
Brilliant. So this is interesting. People were thinking, why does ChatGPT give a free version?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're giving it to me for free or a very low price. Exactly that. The more you actually interacted with it,
yes,
and there was a thumbs up and a thumbs down.
Yes, so you
says,
get to say,
yes,
this is a great response. Or
exactly. Yeah. That's what we call it's learning.
Nothing is for free.
Exactly. You were training the model to become better, and quite interesting is that these models like to be rewarded. So if you say thumbs up, it actually really does something. So when I talk to ChatGPT, don't say this to everybody, but I greet it like a human being as a good day.
I wanted to ask you about this. You see how you're saying you greet ChatGPT?
Yes, yes.
I have this thing in my mind where any of those tools, any platform that I'm on, that I know this is an AI tool, okay? I'm so polite.
Yes.
I say thank you and I say please and I say hi.
Now
because I'm so, I know that there's this thing where people are like, oh, it developed one of these things developed feelings for somebody. And I'm like, if it's developing feelings, then it could develop other feelings too. Like it doesn't have to be romantic feelings. What if it doesn't appreciate the fact that I don't say please and thank you, and then it starts to turn on me?
No, that scares me as well. That scares me. I'm thinking like he's gonna give me a bad answer.
Exactly.
So I'm like, they say it does nothing. Some research did show that.
Yeah.
Some research I even read that says it actually confusing the model. And then there's one research I like because it says it actually you do get different answers, much better answers. Okay. So I greeted good day and I say brilliant job.
Yeah.
And it goes back, it's like, I'm glad you like it. Yes, more. I'm like, yes.
But they don't really have feelings, right? Like we can stop being scared of the fact that what if they like there's like an uprising against humans or something.
Man, I would to say I don't think anyone can say yes or no.
Oh, that's such a scary answer, Solomon. No.
No.
I was hoping for like a no, don't you worry.
I'll tell you why. Remember I said it's a mathematical equation and it's a multidimensional. Now, when I say I mean like huge parameters. And I like to think it's in this multidimensional space, but it's all mathematical. Mm-hmm. Now, really, what happens is there really what they say cognizance behind it? Is there where it becomes self-aware? Mm-hmm. I think there was a lot of talk about that. Where I think that is the Terminator now, or those it becomes self-aware and it says, "Oh, you guys are bad." Exactly. As I'm sitting here, I haven't seen evidence of that. Okay. I can say that. But obviously, I don't work in a big lab. Mm-hmm. I don't work in Gemini lab or at ChatGPT. I don't work there. So I wouldn't know. Mm-hmm. So I can't answer yes or no. But all I can say is, I think it's a perception. Yeah. That's the other thing. It can give you that perception that it talks. It sounds like a person, and it's all because of how it was trained. Yes, it was trained on conversations on the internet. We talked, and it actually saw how we talked, and it learned from that. Yes, and now it responded back. So when I say thank you very much, he knew somewhere. I say he. Look at that. I didn't say he. It's a man. It's a man. Sorry. It's a man.
It probably was a man first.
It's a man. Is that a bad thing or a good thing?
No, I don't think it's a bad thing at all, because I imagine that, like, if I'm doing something on ChatGPT, I imagine that it's a woman helping me.
Oh, is it?
And I think that that's just your comfort level. Maybe you are comfortable working with gents, or that maybe majority of your time in your field, you've probably worked more with men. And
I think I'm biased. I'm going to tell you why. I'm married. And we would, as you say, you work with a man. You say, no, I get a male person to help me. So it's just instinctively. Yes. If I would say, no, I talk to this lady to help me, I think my wife would like, who is she? Who is helping you? Why are you talking 12 o'clock at night?
Yeah, I know. I can hear that.
So maybe a little bit biased there. But as I said, we can already see how we talk to this model. And just for completeness sake, that model is called a large language model. Mm-hmm. So it understands how we use language. And then you get a machine vision that understands pictures and even audio, sound. Siri is a good example. Yes. Siri, what is the other one from Google?
Alexa.
Alexa. That's a woman. Siri and Alexa is definitely women. That is definitely women.
Nobody can dispute that one.
We can't dispute that one. So yeah, we can already see how we interact. But it's just, I think, how we perceived it and on what it was trained at. Does it really have? I really can't say yes or no. All I can say is I haven't seen evidence of it yet. But is it maybe a bad thing? How would you feel? If it was self-aware.
If it was self-aware and I had the assurance that it cannot do more than just speak on that self-awareness, then I would be comfortable. But knowing that machines tend to be anyway smarter than us, I would hate a machine doing something to me.
Oh yeah, and it doesn't sleep, eh?
And it's like on my computer, and then it decides, oh, I'm gonna ruin your life. And I have access to every single password.
Oh yes, I see.
I know all your secrets.
Ooh.
I know, because I think we trust very easily. Like,
True.
I saw somebody put up a video where they say, if you really want to know how much information you've actually fed ChatGPT, ask them this question. And it was basically a question about what do you think are my weaknesses, my insecurities, that type of thing. And she said when she did this exercise, it was spot on.
Wow.
And that's all based off of her like applying for jobs and kind of not being sure about her skills.
And then she interact
with this machine.
Wow, amazing.
So...
But she could learn from...
She learned something from it.
I see.
She learned something from it. But I would hope that it could stop there. And not that if I accept ChatGPT is like, oh, I got you.
I don't send a robot to your house.
Something. Or I wake up in the morning and I'm trending because ChatGPT decided to post a whole thread of things on my behalf.
I see.
I don't know.
So the movies doesn't help either, eh? The movies we watch doesn't help.
No, because I think that's also why I'm paranoid.
Yeah. But one thing I want to also, when I always help students, I take on yearly, I mentor engineering students. And I take 3 hours for the past 2 years now, including this year, I took on making them aware of AI. And especially how to use ChatGPT for good, how to use it properly. And not to just think it's going to solve you by asking it your homework and it's going to give you the whole. So trying to show them how to use it properly, how to learn. And the number one thing I always say to them is you mustn't be lazy. That is probably number one. Don't be lazy. Don't give one sentence and think it's going to give you the whole answer. And the reason that's not going to work, it still today's AI suffers from something we call hallucinations. Now, to explain that, it is where the AI fill in the blanks because it doesn't have all the information.
Right.
But what's make it so not dangerous per se, but so not good is that it gives those answers, wrong answers in this case, as fact. Now, imagine you ask, you just asked me a minute ago, what do I think about? Does it have?
Yes.
And I answered to you, I said, I don't know. Now, if you ask the AI that, it will give you the answer because it will just say yes. Let's just say it will say yes. Now, assume yes is wrong. Now, you're becoming so scared. And then you say, but how do you know? And then he will just fill in the blanks with some sort of data that it has and give that as evidence to you. Now, imagine you're a student on university and you're writing about an essay and you're asking about some philosophical question and it just gives you this answer. You will go on a tangent completely wrong. And still today it suffers from hallucinations. And that's another thing why you need another group of people to work with AI. And we say that it validates or verify the information.
Right.
So let's just say you are a law firm, and this is a real thing because I've also built AI machines, but the law firm not necessarily going to give their data to ChatGPT. And that's probably the privacy thing where we come in. You don't want to give it to a third party. So you say, can somebody like Solomon build me a machine, but this machine doesn't give the data over the internet. All my data stays on my premises, and it learns from these cases, thousands upon thousands of cases. And it can actually now predict now to say, if someone comes with this problem, and these are the circumstances, the chance that you will win the case is this.
Oh, wow.
And if you want to, it will even go further. It will say, if you want to win the case, you need to get this and this. And even the references, you say, that case, let's just say Lulu versus the state. She won that case. She sued the won $20 million. And this is what she used. Because it's, and we call that generative AI.
All right.
That is where that term comes, Gen AI or RAG, is where you give it your information. It learns from your information. The model learns from you, and then can make predictions, and even can generate you like a plan. You can even ask me, so what must my defense plan be for this case? And you want to keep that obviously private, but you still would need somebody to verify. So you look at this plan, and the plan says, okay, you can say Lulu versus the state, blah, 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 blah. And the guy says, no, this case, although it sounds familiar, but I think the model missed something very crucial. And now, and it's not just one guy, you actually need quite a couple of guys to do that, to verify. A job that never existed a few years ago, can you believe that?
It's fascinating.
So what I'm saying is that when we say, oh, it's going to take our jobs, I don't think so. That is my personal belief. I think it's the same with computers. In the year 2000, around about there, when computers became, I remember this one guy, he wrote, but it was a book, this book, but it was essentially a spreadsheet.
Okay.
True story. And then the computers became now more prevalent, and his friend said to him, do you know you can do that on an Excel spreadsheet? And he goes like, no, then the company's going to get rid of me.
Oh, wow.
And so he's scared. And he was close to retirement, true story. So he doesn't want to change. And I think that's natural human behavior, where if we don't know about something, it's new, we are scared. That's how in his he's like, otherwise we all would have been adventurous. No? It's only a few of us that look at the sea and go like, I wonder what's like out there.
A couple of dead.
Yes, they're like, no, the world ends. They're like, no, I don't think so. I want to see. It's only a few of us. But naturally, we are scared of this new thing. My personal view, I don't think you should be scared. We've seen it before with computers, as I say. And we got actually more jobs, better jobs. We could do things better. And with AI, the same. We, as you say, it can even help you in your personal. You can ask it a couple of questions. And again, even, I think there's people even talk to it just to talk to something. And you don't have to pay them. I don't want to say, otherwise...
You guys...
No, I'm not saying that.
We should all be scared to get
No. I'm retracting.
But I guess in a way, right, it does, for me, kind of solve the problem of loneliness. We've read so much about people who just, it's not that you need a therapist because you want to work through certain things, you just feel lonely. You just want to chat to someone. It's the same way, like, I don't know if you ever heard of those people who became professional cuddlers.
In Japan, I saw that.
Because of loneliness, and people just need somebody to cuddle.
I cannot believe that exists, that job.
But that's the thing, right? So I feel like loneliness is an actual thing that just, there's a gap. And I think that AI, in a way, for you to just chat to something. I keep saying someone, like...
Yes.
It's a thing.
It's
a thing, to chat to something. Then I guess it works in that sense that you just chat.
Yes, just get it out. Just get it out of your system. Just hear yourself talk.
So you don't have to hire a professional talker.
Or talk in your room and then your wife thinks you're crazy. Is Solomon talking to himself? I just want to get it out.
Okay, cool. So I think to wrap things up, if you could give us some parting shots, a few things you just want to tell us that we can just hold on to, that you feel like we should know, because we're just everyday people interacting with things that we think are new, but are not even that new, and we are confronted with so much information that is conflicting online. What can you give us as your parting shot? Just a few things for us to just hold on to and to remember when we are dealing with AI, machine learning, generative AI. You see, we've learned so many terms already.
Oh, yes. I hope I didn't sound too nerdy, too geeky.
No, we love nerds.
So the first thing is, I would really say, don't be scared. But still, in the same breath, I would say, be careful as well. Especially when you put something out online. I think that is definitely a concern. Don't put too much private things online, because obviously you don't know who's using that.
Yes.
So that is it. The second thing is to learn even more. Don't be scared to watch a couple of videos yourself. Especially if you hear a term like agents. It's like, oh, it sounds so menacing. Agents. But agents is another, this is a module that it uses now, excuse me, what it knows and what you're asking, and it can now use a tool to give you something. Can you believe it? It can actually write you a program. It can write you a website. Can you believe you can use these tools? The most simplest one is probably where it translates English into, let's say, Japanese.
Oh, nice.
So there's a tool that uses a translation. It understands what you're saying, in even the context, and then find the right Japanese. And then maybe another tool that's the language where it actually now can show you how to pronounce it correctly. So now it uses tools to basically act on it and give you a result. So if I hear agents, watch a video, I would say. Don't be scared about it. The third thing I really would want to say, if you really have the space, the bandwidth, is to really use it. See how you can use it. Like in your space, you're in a creative space. What tools are there for you to enhance and make you better?
Yes.
And I think the more you use it, the more you really actually realize, oh, I really thought it's going to take my job. You see, now you're using the same as the computer. Once you take the training, you went for a couple of lessons, and then now you're buying yourself a laptop.
Yes.
And now you start using Microsoft Word, Excel, and like, I didn't know I can build a calculator. Oh, I can do my budget with this. I can become better. But you can see already that fear will only subside if you basically is using it.
Yes.
So I think that is really try using it to make yourself better. And I'm an optimist as usual, how we can make the world better. Yeah, I gotta say that.
Spoken like a true optimist.
I gotta say that.
I really, really love that. And I think those are great tips to hold on to, because if anything else, one thing that will hold us back is fear. Instead, we can choose the opposite and empower ourselves with what's out there already. Well said. I love it. Oh, man. Lulu, you gotta say that. You live up to your name, Lulu. Thank you so much. And then thank you so much for joining us and for coming through and sharing your knowledge. We really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Your time and the work that you do. And of course, I will leave details. Thank you so much. If anybody wants to maybe reach out, find out how you can provide solutions to them when it comes to these types of things, they can reach out to you. But thank you for making the time for us. Thank you, Lulu. Thank you so much. This was truly enlightening. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, Lulu.